Hello everybody again. We're going to continue our drawing. I have my eraser and I'm going to use my ebony pencil. I'll also get an extra piece of paper so that I can cover my art if I'm working here so I'm not smudging. And I think we did our darkest darks and then we started to go to the next value up. I'm gonna work around those areas because as I squint at the pears, you know, it's a little darker on this side. A little dark here too. I could probably bring that in today. I'll nuance this area here and I'll start to shape the values at dark here. I can also start to play around with the shadows to make sense of that. Always remember to look at where the values shift and also what the relative value is to the next one. Clearly that is darker and that is brighter, then that is not as dark as that. So you just always want to be making those or asking those questions and making those decisions. So I'll start with this here and I'm just going to start to bring this out. And I can go over these other edges and make them darker in the process. All right, so so I did a little of that, and again, I'll go back over that as I develop it up. But now I want to ask myself questions about, like, that's lighter than that. So maybe I should start working on this shadow a little bit. I also noticed that it's dark there. So I'm going to start to try to figure out these shadows. So and remember, I can turn things upside down and work on my art. slightly disassociates myself from the actual items, and changing these into just shapes and shifts in value. And I don't necessarily say in my head, oh, it's a pear, or oh, it's a person. And that can give me a lot of license and freedom that I might not have provided to myself originally. Again, I'm constantly sometimes moving things around to work for me, right? Again, you're the artist, you're in charge. So it's not quite done, but I do, as I squint at it, notice that this is darker than that there. I'm probably gonna have to pump this up a little bit in the shadow here. And just remember, no one ever sees this. They are going to see your drawing. So I'm gonna go, again, I'm gonna put this paper over here though, and I'm just gonna work on maybe evening this out a little bit. Notice that I'm, longer, looser strokes right here, but I'll be going back into this drawing, next week as well, and softening everything up. It might be in my best interest to just put this highlight basic shape here and here, just so that I kind of keep those areas light and white. Again, if I look here to here, this is darker than that, so, that's pretty dark. All right, so I'm gonna leave this alone over here and start working on this pair. Again, it might be in my best interest to just put in some shapes here. Trying to indicate where things are lighter. I'm gonna work on this area and here, and then might bring this in a little bit and then call it quits for today. Oh, hold on, the lights went out. Okay, back on. I'm looking at that darkness to that darkness, and so this pair on the other side is darker. I'm going to bump that up. And then I'm gonna be in my best interest to bring up the shadow. And I don't really have the shape of that shadow right, but again, I'm just gonna let it go. I think I'm going to work a little bit up here. And again, I'm being rather loose up here and very non-committal. But this is, you know, just a beginning. Sometimes you have to exaggerate stuff too to make it work. A photograph or a laser print of a photograph is going to be different than a drawing, which is different from the actual thing, which is different than a painting. So I think that's all I'm gonna do today. And if I squint at my work and I squint at the drawing, it's beginning to be developed. I've got a ways to go. And again, this is a process. The process of making art is art in itself, and the product is the product, which we also call art. For me, I often value the making of the art more than the art itself. All right, I should stop. Okay. All right. Until next time.